There we go. Okay, so that's all a ruler postulate says, is that you can give a point corresponding coordinate. Okay, so we're not really going to use the ruler postulate. The segment addition postulate, though, we will actually use. Okay, so, and I want you to really think and look at the picture and think about what I'm saying. So it says, if there are 3 points, point A, B, and C, and they are collinear, so collinear means they lie on the same line. Okay, so if you have 3 points, A, B, and C, and they all lie on the same line, okay, and it says point B is between point A and C. So when you think about that, all they're saying is that the points go in order, A, B, and C. So B lies in between A, B, and C. And if you look at the line segment, it starts out at A, and then there's another point B, and then there's another point C, okay? Which is fairly simple. It says then, and it says AB plus BC equals AC. Now that sounds a little complicated, but when you really think about it, it's saying if you take the segment chunk AB and you add it with the segment chunk BC, okay, it should equal AC. And honestly, that is true, okay? If you take this segment chunk and this segment chunk, it should equal this segment chunk, okay? That's no different than saying if this one is 2 and this one is 2, okay, if AB is 2 and BC is 2, then AC is 4, which you already know. 2 plus 2 is 4, okay? So it's fairly simple, but sometimes the verbiage, we get lost up in the verbiage, okay? So the first 2 I'm going to do and the second 2 you're going to do. Okay, so it says, what is the length of the segment ST? Okay, now, the easiest way to do this is to, especially if you have something that's working with negatives, is to do the negative part and find to 0 first. And we're just talking about distance. So when we're looking at the segment, what did it say? ST. Okay, I want you to look at the piece that goes from S to 0. So it starts out at -4. Okay, and obviously the distance from -4 to 0 is 4 units. Okay, and then we still need to go all the way to T. So we got 0 to T is 8. So what is 4 plus 8? It's 12. So the length of the segment ST is 12. And that's kind of what we were talking about with A, B, and C. So if you pretended that A was at -4 and B was at 0 and C is at +8, okay, you could take the segment AB and then BC, and it should equal AC, which it does, okay? So just worry about getting to the 0 first and figure out what's that value, because that's the easiest way, and then get to the 8, okay? So the segment length of ST is 12. Okay, so we're just going to write 12. What is the segment length of TU? Okay, and we can just look at it and kind of be able to tell. But T is at 8 and U is at 10. So what is the distance in between those? It's 2. The segment length of VU. Okay, now we know with segments, the order does not matter. So it doesn't matter if we're looking at VU or UV, okay? It's the same. So U is at 10, V is at 14. What would be the length? It doesn't matter if you're going from 10 to 14 or 14 to 10, because we're looking at length, not necessarily a positive or negative number. All of your numbers should be positive, okay? If you write down me a negative number, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Okay, so what's the difference between 10 to 14? Okay, and if we were counting 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, okay, the distance is 4. The distance is 4. What about the length US? Okay, and I'm going to zoom in here again. So we're going from U to S or S to U, it does not matter. Okay, and S is at -4 and U is at 10. Okay, so go from -4 to 0. So that's 4 units. And then now I need to go from 0 all the way to U, which is 10. Okay, so, and then I'm going to take those two and put them together. So 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay? So it's nothing too extravagant. The hardest part is when you have 1 on a negative, okay? Because some people want to say, well, 10 minus 4, okay? And you need to look at the total distance rather than the number, okay? So negative 4 to 0, and then 0 to 10 would give us that 14, okay? The next slide says the length of AB, okay? So our A is at negative 8, and our B is at negative 6. So how do I go from negative 8 to negative 6? How many units is that? Okay, it's 2. Okay, and then it says, well, what is the length of BA? Well, we don't even really need to look at that because segments, it doesn't matter if we're looking at AB or BA. Okay, so even if we did B is at negative 6, A is at negative 8, so the distance is still the same. It's 2. The next one says, what is the length of AC? Okay, so some of these you need to pay attention to the tick marks in the number line. By that I mean make sure it doesn't skip by 2s or by 10s. Okay, so in this case we can tell because A is negative 8 and B is negative 6, and there's one tick mark in between, that one is negative 7. So like if you zoomed, you could say that this point is negative 7. So you know that every tick mark, okay, is 1 unit. And so we need to go from A to C. So we know that the tick mark right before C is 0. Okay? So our A is at negative 8, and we go all the way to 0. Okay, it gives us 8 units. And then we need to go from 0 to C, whatever that is, and C so happens to be 1. So that's 1 unit. Okay, so we went a total of 8 units plus another 1 unit to give us 9 units. Okay, so the distance for that line segment is 9. And honestly, if you're not even that great at it, okay, trying to figure out from 0 to this or 0 to that, you can just straight up count. Negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. Okay, and you don't have to really do the negatives. You could just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, well, boom, I made it to C, and it's a length of 9. And you could even do the same thing with AB. So start out at A and start counting. 1, 2. I made it to B. Okay, so you don't even have to do it necessarily a fancy way. If you just straight up wanted to count with your finger on the number line, you totally can. Okay. As I promised, it was going to be a short and sweet day. You have 2 more slides to do on your own, and they are 7 problems. Okay, so as soon as you get finished, check your Skyward, email me, message me on Remind or Canvas, see what you have missing. Don't waste your day. Bree, hate to call you out. You know you have some stuff missing. Today's the day to do that. Okay, so, and Bree, I want you to start on your order of operations sheet. Okay, it's worth 30 points, and you need to do that like yesterday. So, you start on that sheet when you're done, and then start on the rest of them that you haven't done. And you need to start using your development to get some of that done. Some of you guys are not using your development wisely. Mario, I know you sent me some stuff this morning, so kudos to getting some stuff done in your development today. And that's all I got. I know it went kind of fast, so hopefully you guys got the concept. If not, there will be a video on Canvas.